All right. Well, let me move on to one other thing from Dynamite that we're going to cover before we get to our discussion about. We wanted to talk about which titles in wrestling in WWE and AEW should be eliminated, because a lot of people say there are too many belts. So we're going to talk about that after this. But I do want to mention the Mariah May stuff, or specifically the Toni Schiavone stuff. But we covered the angle last week about Mariah May turning on Toni Storm, and she came out as Toni Storm. And I think some of the audience, she looked so much like Toni Storm, I heard reports that some of the audience didn't even realize that she wasn't Toni Storm. So it was a little confusing. And then she went out there, and before she started talking, she took a long pause. And this is what Toni Schiavone said when we were waiting for her to start talking.
Oh, speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh, my God, Schiavone. I'm sorry. I'm just angry about what happened last week.
Unprofessional men.
I know.
All right. Well, listen. So I did get a comment from Vlad about this in our reviews. What did Vlad say? Let me find this. Vlad, who gave this segment a thumbs down, he said this promo was overshadowed. No, he didn't give this a thumbs down. I'm sorry. Vlad gave this an indifferent. No thumbs down, no thumbs up. But you said the promo was overshadowed by Toni Schiavone saying, "Speak, bitch," before the promo. Honestly, if that was improvised, I'd have fired him, or at minimum, removed him from commentary. Really, Vlad? That much, huh?
Well, first of all, you got to understand, Toni Schiavone has annoyed the crap out of me with his commentary for a long time now with AEW. Like, he really, really hinders there's no reason to have a three-man commentary team as it is, first of all. And he sticks out because he doesn't add anything to it. He just screams random things, cussing at MJF. And then this one really pissed me off because I don't think this was something that Tony Khan would have told him to say in his ear. So I think it was probably something that just came out because he's just allowed to cuss nonstop throughout the whole damn show when he's cussing up heels. It's insane. So I think in this case, I mean, if they're not going to, which obviously they're not going to fire him over this. That goes without saying. Tony Khan doesn't fire anybody except the biggest stars in wrestling. That's stupid. He's not going to fire. He's not going to fire Toni Schiavone over calling Mariah May a bitch. That's okay. But what I think he should at the very least consider is at least removing him from commentary. Let him be the interviewer, like the in-ring interviewer. That he's actually decent in that role. He's not. He doesn't add anything to the broadcast, the commentary booth. It should probably just be Taz. And okay, it shouldn't be the guy.
So
the guy
is your anger about this stemming from just the fact that you don't like him on commentary, or really that this was a bad moment? This was a really bad moment. Well, Robert, do you agree? Was this a very horrible moment in Toni Schiavone's career that he deserves to get?
He was just trying to get asses in seats.
I honestly laughed when he said it. I thought it was funnier than the promo itself. The promo kind of sucked.
The promo wasn't funny at all because it wasn't very good. But that's what I'm saying. It was overshadowed by the fact that he said that. I didn't find it funny because I'm like, what the fuck? What is this shit now? Like,
so you think you want your commentators to be a little more serious and professional, but plenty of commentators like show disdain for a heel. You know, like, come on, Jesse Ventura hated Hogan. He never called him a bitch or anything, but
not to this extent. Not like this.
Bobby Heenan with Hogan, and
disdain, but not like to this extent. Like, like the stuff that he says about MJF, which I think is part of this. Part of it, that's fine. That's
Robert, did you think this was funny or not?
This was not
Since
part of it.
Since you're here, was this funny or not? Should he have said that or not?
I don't think he should have said that, but I didn't think it would turn out to be so controversial.
Yeah, I
didn't think that
see
would
a lot
be
of
big news, right?
YouTubers commenting on it. So yeah, it did become slightly big news in that regard. But
yeah, I mean, it got my attention like when I heard it, but I didn't think it would make headlines or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't know. It didn't sit well with me for a number of reasons, and I think it's because the majority of it is because I really don't like his commentary, and I know a lot of us nostalgia WCW guys don't have a liking for Tony Schiavone because of the years in WCW, right? But
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to call it, like it is, man. He's just not doing a good job. He's not adding anything. He just screams random things. And him and what the hell is the guy? Excalibur are really not good together. There's no reason if you're just gonna have it be Excalibur and Taz. I think that would be best. Obviously, I would get rid of Excalibur too, but I mean, and have Taz and anybody else really. I mean, they could find anybody else and they could do a better job than those guys. So I think that's what really set me off, is that he's just done so badly in this role and he shouldn't be in this role. But no, you shouldn't probably just say that, improvise. Like, oh, speak, bitch, what are you waiting for? No, that's completely ridiculous thing to say live on air. I mean, you could say that in your head, or you could say that off cut your mic and turn around to Taz and be like, hey, why the fuck isn't she speaking? So fine. I'm okay with that if you said that.
I also found it interesting that he said speak bitch like he hated Mariah May so bad, but when he was talking about MJF earlier in the night, he corrected himself. He said, man, I hate him with a passion. But then he's like, you know what? Hate might be a strong word. I dislike him with a passion. So he dislikes MJF.
No,
he really hates Mariah May.
He hates MJF. He's called him a bitch and a son of a bitch.
But he caught himself being politically incorrect in that moment where he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't use the word hate. But then later in the night, Mariah May takes too long to start talking, and he says, speak, bitch. But I do want to mention about what you're saying about Tony Schiavone, about how for some reason he hasn't been good on commentary. He's gotten a lot of criticism. And I will say that I also don't like his commentary in AEW as compared to WCW. I think it was a lot better back then. But I think the reason for that is because Tony Schiavone is basically Tony Khan's yes man. Like, Tony Khan is just telling him what to say in his ear, and he just says it. And he goes, oh, this is so great. Oh, my God, this is the most entertaining match I've ever seen. My God, this is so cool. This is so funny. Ha, 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 ha. And that's things that Tony Khan's telling him to say. I think if they just let him kind of commentate wrestling on his own, I think he'd be a lot better. But if they get Tony Schiavone out of there, they're just going to get another yes man in there. So I don't really think it'll improve.